That's the value of living long enough to begin to realize that you are more than anything that could ever happen to you, and nothing will ever break you. You may feel broken, but you are not broken. Your soul, your spirit can never be broken. Body parts can be broken. Your heart can feel like it's broken, but not even your heart can be broken. It's an illusion.
Starting is not easy. Everyone's fired up at the starting line, full of adrenaline. Finishing is attractive. Everybody wants the medal. Everyone wants the applauses, the Instagram post, being in front of the people on stage. However, what about the middle journey towards that stage, towards that applause? The silence, the grind, the stretch where nobody's cheering anymore. Your energy is gone. You are demotivated. And you keep asking yourself, why the hell I am doing this? Why the hell I am still running? Why the hell I'm still pushing forward? That is the mid-race slump. And most people quit. Welcome back to Abed Podcast. This is episode 49. This is where we break the cycle of failure and we give you the tools to upgrade your self-development, sharpen your career, and step boldly into the entrepreneurship journey. Today, we are talking about the moment where most people lose, not at the start, not at the finish line, but in the middle. When the excitement fades away, when the obstacles pile up, when self-doubt starts whispering in your ears. Why? Why keep pushing forward? You have felt it before. You have started something new. A fitness goal could be a side hustle, a side job, a career shift, a new training that you are taking, or even a personal transformation. At the start, you are unstoppable. Discipline is sharp, identity feels clear, sacrifice comes easy, passion fuels every step. But here is the reality. Even the strongest runners hit a wall. Even the most disciplined crack. Even the most passionate creators wake up empty. That is the mid-race slump. It's not a failure. It's not a weakness. It is the natural cost of any long-term commitment. And the truth is, most people never push past it. But today, I'm going to show you how to break through it. Not with hacks, not with shortcuts, but with a strategy that actually works. How to pause without quitting. How to turn setbacks into fuel. How to keep momentum alive when your tank feels empty. So, if you ever felt stuck, exhausted, or ready to throw in the towel, this episode is your recharge. And let's dive in.
We do not feel based on life. We feel by the meaning we give life. And every moment, we are the creators of our own meaning. That is the only thing we can control. We can't control the outside world. We control this world inside. This and this. Head and heart is controlled by what you decide to focus on and the meaning you give it. If you change what you focus on, you change everything.
Let's picture this. You launch a new business. First 90 days, fire. Excited. New plan, new strategy, hopes, whatever. So you're posting, you're grinding, but month 6, the money is not flowing like you thought. The algorithm does not care, and you are exhausted, and you're getting pushed from family members because they have been excited about your plan, but they are not seeing the results. Or maybe, in a personal level, you hit the gym on January 1st, as everybody puts the New Year resolution. First few weeks, you feel unstoppable, but by March, your scale barely moves. The mirror looks the same to you, and every rep feel heavier than the last. Or even let's take it in a relationship. At the start, spark fly. Every text, every call feels electric. Fast forward a year, now it's routine, responsibility, and even probably conflict. That is the mid-race slump. And here's the truth. It's not a clinical diagnosis. It is not a sign you are broken. It's universal. Every meaningful journey has a middle, and the middle is where most people struggle. Think of it like running a marathon or ultra marathon, like we have spoken before in a previous episode. The gun goes off, the adrenaline surge, the crowd cheering, every step feels light. But then the miles piles up. The cheers fades away. Your legs started to feel heavy. The finish line, it looks impossibly far. You have not stopped yet. You haven't failed yet. But that sparks, it's dimmed. And in life, it shows everywhere. The entrepreneur who's questioning their vision after years of grind, whether he left the daily job by choice or had been redundant, either ways. So he chose that for many years and grinding and grinding. That person on a growth journey who suddenly hit a plateau. Why does this happen? Let's take a few examples. One, fading novelty. That early hype wears off. The grind became real. Second one, unexpected obstacle. Detours, roadblocks, setbacks, you didn't see it's coming. Maybe some people will call it boredom or feeling unlucky, where you do everything right, but with no visible result. And this is where it hits everyone on the bone. Other thing could be overwhelming. The scope of the goals feel too big, too heavy, too complex, that it might feel in the beginning doable, but then down the line, it's overwhelming. And finally, that inner demon, fear of failure, self-doubt, that voice whispering, you are not good enough. Sound familiar? Yes, because it happened to all of us. And here is what I want you to hear right now. The slump is not a failure. The slump is the proof that you are still in the fight. It's not a personal weakness. It is the natural cost of chasing something that matters. The true measure of marathoner or you. It is how you start. It is how you push through the middle when every fiber of your being wants to quit. And that is where we are going next. Not hacks, not shortcuts, but the strategies that actually recharge you, rebuild your fire, and help you to carry momentum when your tank feels empty.
God somehow put me through all the shit I've been through in my life so that I could develop the muscle so I could help anyone. Because I can help them not because I can verbalize, I can help because I've done it again and again and again with me and now tens of millions of people. So it's that component. You want to know that it's worth it because I'm going to know who really matters to me and I matter too. It's a beautiful thing. Years ago, Sage and I went through some health issues. And I remember I was so ill, I burned a hole from this mercury in my body in my esophagus, and I bled out. I lost 1/3 of my blood supply. I could have died. And then I had to get on a week later to be on stage at Date with Destiny in the middle of all this shit that was going on. And sure enough, something blew and they rushed me to the hospital. It was the middle of Date with Destiny. We gotta drain your kidneys and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that and you're gonna be here for a few days. So I said, no, I'm in the middle of this event. And they're like, no, you don't understand. I said, no, you don't understand. These are the people that matter. They matter to me. And I got up and I was on a wheelchair because I couldn't walk. And I got up there to serve. And then all these people came back. Thank you, God. It's like, I've always wanted to serve and now I was being served. We all are here to serve each other.
Strategy number 1. I call it strategic reset and recovery. Champions don't grind until they break. They rest so they can reload. Think about the ultra marathon that we have spoken about it many times. And I like this example because it demonstrates this strategy very well. So think about this marathon runner. They don't skip aid station. They don't reject water or fuel mid-race. Why? Because the pause is what powers the finish. That moment of rest It's refueled them. They know that the little bit pause of taking that sip of water or that whatever food they want to eat or snack or banana, that keeps them going forward to the finish line. That is the mid-race slump. And here is the mistake what most people make when the slump hits. They think the answer is to grind harder, push more, hustle until something breaks. I did this many years ago. I opened so many companies and I always said, if I push forward and keep pushing forward and grind it more, I will reach a result. Many of times it failed. I learned from my lessons. And here is the truth. If you never stop, you will break. Think about an athlete. They don't just train hard. They recover hard. I will repeat it again. They don't train hard. They recover hard. The best athletes know recovery is a training. It is nutrition, it is sleep, it is lighter workouts, it is giving the body the chance to rebuild so it can come back stronger. And your life projects, they are no different. Your brain, your focus, your creativity, they all need recovery cycles. That does not mean sleeping more, not at all. It means taking strategic breaks that actually restores your energy. Reading for joy, pick up a hobby, go for a green day, make it more sustainable with your training, make a sleeping habit that you sleep 7 hours, look at your nutrition, what do you eat? Every 5 minutes of stillness, meditation, or even breathing can reset your nervous system. And here is one of the most things people ignore. Boundaries. Protect your evenings. Protect your weekends. Sometimes you need to say no when your plate is already full. Because if you don't schedule recovery, burnout will schedule itself. Keeping the same theme of ultramarathon 8 stations, I will give you in life what is the 8 stations that you need to look for. One of them, the mental reset. Green Day. One of the best examples. Hobbies, play, laughter, emotional reset, your faith, your network, mindfulness, and silence, and maybe go to nature. The physical reset, your workout, your hours of sleep, nutrition. This is what you need to go for. You are not a machine. Even machines requires or need maintenance. Rest is not quitting. Rest is a fuel. And if you want to finish your marathon, you need to build a recovery system into your plan, not taking it when you are already crashing. Rest is not weakness. Rest is a weapon. You need to use it. Strategy number 2, reframe setbacks as fuel. Here is the truth about any marathon worth running. Setbacks are not optional. They are inevitable. The path of greatness is never straight line. It's messy road, full of wrong turns, missed shots, plans that fall apart. Here is the difference between people who quit in the slump and those who push through it. Perspective is what is missing. The weak see setbacks as a proof they should stop. The strong see setbacks as data. Every lost client is data. Every flop is a feedback. Every failed attempt is a lesson in this genuine. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the tuition you pay for greatness. Think about the scientists in the lab. They don't say the experiment failed. They say now we know what does not work. That is progress. Or the athletes who loses on an international stage. It's not the end. They walk away saying, now I know what it feels like to be under the light. I'll be sharper next time. The marathon runner who misses the podium, they don't quit. They say, I know what I left on the table. I'll get it right next race. Resilience is not avoiding failure. It is bouncing back stronger, faster, sharper every single time. Every no is a rep in the gym for your perseverance. Every stumble is a weight on the bar that builds your mental muscle. So stop treating setbacks like a dead end. They are not stopping signs. They are strategy updates. They are sharpening your blade. They are the reason you will be ready when the real moment comes. Strategy number 3. Micro wins and momentum. One of the biggest reasons people quit in the middle is because the goal feels too big, or the goal feels unachievable, or the timeline is too long, where people sometimes they look for shortcuts or a faster reward. The finish line sometimes looks so far that it's almost feeling impossible. And when the vision is that distant, it's easy to get discouraged. That is why micro wins and milestones are everything. Instead of staring at the marathon finish line, you create many finish lines, small, achievable, checkpoints that prove you are still moving forward. Let me take you back to my project management days. In every major project, no matter how massive it is, whether it's run for weeks, few weeks or few years, we always break it down into milestones. Why? Because the pressure from stakeholders, deadlines, and complexity was too much to handle all at once. But when you lock into milestones, specific deliverables for each stage, you create clarity, momentum, and accountability. And that is how massive, overwhelming goals actually get done. And life works the same way. You don't build million subscriber YouTube channel overnight. You create one meaningful video and that's it. You don't write a book. You write one meaningful page. You don't build a business. You solve one client's problem. You don't transform your body in a week. You just show up for your workout every single day. That's the way how it's done. Like Rocky Balboa likes to say it. And every time you hit the micro win, your brain gives you a dopamine hit that says, yes, progress, keep going. Yes, progress, keep going. That is how you turn impossible to possible. That's how you keep momentum alive when the big vision feels too far. So stop waiting for the grand finale to celebrate. Celebrate that micro wins, because those little victories, they are not small. They are the bricks that build the entire marathon run. Momentum built in micro wins, not miracles. Strategy number 4, reconnect with your why. We have talked about the practicalities of rest, reframing setbacks, and celebrating small wins. But sometimes the mid-race slump is not just about fatigue or obstacles. It's about a deeper disconnect. It's when the initial fire that ignites your journey starts to flicker and you begin to question every purpose of your endeavor. This is when it becomes crucial to reconnect with your why. The fundamental reason, the core motivation, the deep-seated identity that compile you to embark on this marathon in the first place. Some people, they will call it the call.
For me, it was like knowing anything I've gone through in my life, that my belief is I'm not the only one who has this experience, no matter how bad it is, whether it's emotional, psychological, spiritual, financial, family, whatever it is. But I know that if I can figure this out, I can help millions of other people not have to go through this pain.
Think back to the beginning. What was the driving force? Was it a desire for freedom, or a need to express a unique talent, or committed to a cause? Or maybe it's a vision of a person you aspire to become. In the daily grind of execution, it's easy to lose sight of those overcharging purposes. The what and the how can overshadow the why, leaving you feeling adrifted and uninspired. What is the calling you're trying to answer today? I don't need you to write it in the comment section. It's not my business. I'm not interested. But between you and yourself, do you know what is the call you're trying to answer? I'll leave it to you. Motivation fades because we forgot why we started. So, pause for a minute. Write your why on your wall, on your mirror, on your phone screen. Because when the why is clear, the how is possible. So, here is the recharge. Go back to the well. Pull out your old notes, your vision board, that journal entry when you first started or you first said, I'm going to do this. Revisit it. Say it out loud. Write it again. Reconnect with that fire, because motivation does not always come from the outside. It comes from remembering your deeper reasoning. And here's the powerful tool. Visualization. Close your eyes and see yourself at that finish line. See that momentum, you succeed. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Who's there with you? Engage every sense. Your brain does not know the difference. It wires that vision as if it is real. And suddenly, the path towards that end feels possible again. But here's the real secret. When your why is tied to your identity, quitting is no longer an option. If you see yourself as a disciplined, then showing up, even tired, isn't an optional. It is who you are. If you see yourself as a creator, then pushing through the block isn't a chore. It is your calling. When your why is rooted in identity, the marathon stops being something you do, it becomes something you are. Strategy number 5, community and accountability. No marathoner finishes alone. They have crowds, they have coaches, they have teammates. None of the real businessmen now, successful businessmen now, you see it on TV or you see it in interviews, did it alone. They have consultants, they have mentors, they have team behind them. Because discipline starts with you, but momentum multiplies with your people. If you run with others, you will run further than you ever imagined. When you break big tasks of your project along with your team, acceleration and achievement goes faster beyond your imagination. And here's the truth. Yes, the marathon of life is a run on your legs, but you were never meant to run it alone. When your slump hits and your tank feels empty, community and accountability are the two lifelines that can pull you forward. Look at the previous video we have done it. Your network is your net worth. That's a good start. That's a good place to start. Think about the marathon crowd. The cheers don't run the race for the runner, but they do give huge amount of energy when your body wants to give up, when your body wants to quit. In life, it's the same thing. That is your network, your people around you, your friends and family, colleagues, even online communities, even your mentor. Sometimes it only takes one encouraging word, one phone call, one reminder that you are not crazy for chasing this dream to get you moving again. But let's take it deeper. Accountability. When you have got someone checking in on your progress, you show up differently. I've told you about my weekly meeting that we conduct every Sunday. That is a pure accountability, because you need to show up with the results. You show up differently, you show up sharp with a plan. Even if you have setback, you have the courage to say, I had a bad week. That week was not good. So and so happened in that week. My plan didn't fruition. All this accountability. You don't ghost your goals because you know someone's waiting to hear from you. And just please keep that in your mind. Accountability partners or group are not about judgment. They are about sharing commitment. They remind you that discipline multiplies when it is backed by connection. And then there is the mentorship. A mentor is someone who is already run the race you are running. They know where is the bottlenecks. They know the shortcuts that save years. They remind you of your potential when you forget. A mentor does not make the journey easier, but they make it clearer. And remember this, community does not carry you across the finish line, but they make damn sure you don't stop in the middle. Do not isolate yourself in the slump. Build your tribe. Find your accountability cycle. We passed beyond networking and networking with people. Build the accountability cycle. Seek out mentors who have already been where you are going. Champions are not built in isolation. They are forged in community. As we cross the finish line of today's episode, let's pause and look back at the ground we have covered. We learned that slump is not a sign of failure. It's natural, inevitable part of any long-term journey. And the key is not avoiding it, but knowing how to recharge and push through it. We have talked about the power of strategic reset and recovery, replenishing not just your body, but your mind, your spirit, your faith. We explored how reframing setback as fuel, but seeing failure is not as a dead end, but as a data, as a feedback, as a tuition of greatness. We broke down the power of a micro wins and milestones, transforming the impossible into progress, one step at a time, one punch at a time. We reminded ourselves of the need of reconnecting with your why, the identity and the vision that lit your fire in the first place. And finally, we uncovered the strength of community and accountability, the people who make sure that you don't stop in the middle. Your most important life project, whatever it might be, is not a sprint. It's a marathon. And like any marathon, it demands discipline, identity, sacrificing, and passion. But it also demands wisdom. The wisdom to know when to push, when to pause, when to recharge. The journey will have its highs and its lows. It is sprints and its slumps. But by embracing this strategy, you are not just enduring the race. You are mastering it. You are building the resilience, the adaptability, the grit to not cross the finish line, but arriving stronger, wiser, and more unshakable than when you started the race from the beginning. By the end of this video, here's your challenge for this week. Find your slump, call it out. Then pick one strategy with a reset, reframe, micro wins, reconnect, or accountability, and put it into practice. Don't wait for motivation to magically return. Create it in the middle. Because champions are not made at the start. They are not crowned at the finish line. They are forged in the middle when it is hardest, when nobody's watching, when quitting whispers the loudest. Until next episode, keep grinding, keep pushing, and keep winning. And above all, keep breaking the cycle of failure. I'll see you in the next round. Bye-bye.